Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Commissioner meeting, 5th of January, 2023. Stand to the Pledge of Allegiance with me, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we approve the minutes from December 15th, accounts payable voucher and payroll docket.
I move we approve the minutes from the December 15th meeting, the accounts payable vouchers and the payroll docket as presented.
Second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And next is Commissioner reorganization.
We've talked, we thought you ought to.
Oh.
Yeah, we have talked. So, Mr. Little would like to be president, so I move that we make Robert Little the president of the commissioners for 2023. Well, you get to second
this one, don't I? Get a second this. I get a second.
I get to abstain.
Got tracks on you?
Yeah,
I second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Bob Little?
abstain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta move.
You gotta move?
No,
No.
We'll do that.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Musil, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you.
Good podium, or-
You have to.
That's fine. Okay, I'm John Musil. I'm Secretary Treasurer of Springdale Cemetery. And I'm here with Don McKay. He's the President of the Cemetery Board. And first off, Don and I are both firemen. We want to thank the commissioners for the money that came out of the American Rescue Funds. It's a big help to all the fire companies in the community and county and stuff, and obviously big push to help with fire protection in the city.
More than welcome.
And secondly, I'd like to thank you on behalf of Springdale because we also got an American Rescue Grant to help with our digitalization program in early December. So those are greatly appreciated. And we thank you. Reason I'm here tonight is that Springdale Cemetery was established in 1839 and it's a 501c3 corporation, not profit. And the task of Springdale Cemetery has several tasks, but primarily to maintain the cemetery grounds and to maintain the cemetery records so burials are recorded accurately, ownership of plots and lots and so on and so forth. That consumes all of our budget. We have to do fundraising. We get no support from government for operating funds and so on and so forth. So I'm just trying to point out that the money that we're taking in pretty much is used to maintain and operate the cemetery. But on the grounds, there's a chapel building that's there. You might be familiar with it. I could take you down and let you see it or show it to you, so on and so forth. It was built in the 1930s by Harold Laurie, and it was paid for by private donations at the time. And over that 90-year period of time, the chapel's been vandalized. It has its problems, and you can see some pictures there. So what we're trying to do is to raise funds to do renovations to the chapel so that it can be an asset to the cemetery to use for memorial services, burials during bad weather, cremation services, other things that maybe to the general public, I don't know definitely what it be, but whatever would be available for use because it's a not-for-profit organization. But it could also help generate some revenue for the cemetery. So if somebody, for example, at a cremation service and they have to, they're gonna have a service in the chapel, when it's restored, then there might be a fee that goes to the cemetery. So plus it's a very nice historic building, stones, got tile roofing to it and stuff. And the big problems, the stained glass windows have been vandalized and they're very expensive to restore. So what I've shown you here or given to you is the PACE grant to the city of Madison, but it has the same information that I think you'd be interested in. And I'm going to meet with the city next week to see if we can qualify for a PACE grant. PACE grants matching funds. So this is about a $65,000 project. Our estimates are 65,000. I'm sure you're aware that in these times, you might think the estimate's that, but it might be a little higher for all kinds of reasons that you're familiar with. But what we're trying to do is get it back up to where it's an asset to the community. It can help the cemetery and it can help the public too. So like I say, stained glass windows is the most important thing. We kind of hit, in some ways, the perfect storm. We found a local lady, Rhonda D, that does stained glass window repairs professionally. And she's given us a good price that you got there in the packet. Madison Iron Works is gonna do repairs. These stained glass windows are like in metal frames. And the metal frames over time rust and so on, and they need to be reworked and so on. We talked at Class Unlimited about coming up with some kind of storm windows. In essence, it's not plexiglass, it's something like plexiglass that's strong so that it would protect the windows. Then there's other problems too. The water runs down the hill, goes in the basement, that needs to be worked for drainage and so on, and the doors. And then of course, the inside needs, sprucing up. So anyway, there's price tags or estimates there as to what all those things are. So what we're asking for is if you would consider a $25,000 donation out of the historic preservation funds that the county has. It wouldn't come out of your operating budget or other things. And it would be a big help to the cemetery, the community, because like I say, we kind of got perfect. So we got somebody that's willing to do the work. I think we're going to qualify for the PACE grant if we can get money from the county, and then we can raise the other $15,000. Then I don't think we're going to have this opportunity again, really. Because next in 2 years it'll be $80,000, or it'll be something higher than that, and so that's why I'm here. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you've got, and appreciate your time and your consideration.
I know you had some electrical problems because Slaughterville
Yeah,
talked to me
Gary,
about it. So
Gary's
I'm aware of what's going on.
Gary's
there.
our
Yeah.
security guy down there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And like I said, I'd be glad to take you down, take a look at it, and see what it is, and we see however you want.
Take it under consideration, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Let us talk about it.
Okay,
I'll let you know.
okay, all right. Well, I appreciate your time.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Megan, you have the floor.
No. Only do it once a year.
You did it last time, the last time.
I
I was
usually
gonna say, I
read,
think one of the commissioners has to call
We
the
have to have a
Board of
finance
Finance
committee.
meeting open.
So was it?
You were president last time.
you did it
so-
last time.
So I was president for
Yeah.
the last meeting we had, and then we
Yeah.
switched. So I called the Board of Finance, Jefferson County Finance Committee meeting to order.
So I'm gonna read the meeting minutes from last year. Commissioner David Bramer opened the annual Board of Finance meeting. Treasurer Deputy Megan Hoskins read last year's minutes from the meeting that took place on February 5th, 2021. Commissioner Robert Little nominated Commissioner Ron Lee as the president of the Board of Finance. Commissioner David Bramer seconded the motion. Motion passed 2-0 with Ron Lee abstaining. Commissioner Little made a motion to nominate Melinda Klopp as the treasurer of the Board of Finance. Commissioner Bramer seconded the motion. Motion passed 3-0. Commissioner Bramer made a motion to approve the February 5th, 2021 meeting minutes. Commissioner Robert Little seconded. Motion passed 3-0. Megan Hoskins presented the board with the 2021 interest and statement balances. The following amounts are interest gained over 2021. German American, $31,942.12. First Financial, $1,206.91. Farmers Bank of Milton, $14,349.97. Perf, $1,783.86. Credit card, $4,019.15. German American EFT, $1,890.23. German American FSA, $309.01. Overall, the interest gained was $55,501.25. Hoskins also presented tax sale statistics and stated all but one property tax sale sold at the tax sale. Commissioner David Bramer made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Commissioner Robert Little seconded the motion, passed 3-0.
Okay,
So in your packet, you will see the 2022 interest, which I'm happy to report that we have increased significantly with the interest rates going back up. In German American last year, we had a total of $105,235.55. Farmers Bank, $12,465.95. First Financial, $2,220.48. Perf, $10,383.81. Credit card, $34,196.26. German American EFT, $8,454.67. FSA, $302.29 for a total of $173,259.01. That's a good increase since
Yes.
last year.
August or September, I guess end of August, they started.
Yeah, you can see when it starts going back up. The other thing in your packet is our 2022 tax sale. We had a total of 31 properties that sold. One property did not, and I looked back at 2020. It's the same property that's not selling every year. So I didn't know if there is something we could do moving forward.
You can have a commissioner sale. And the property, instead of collecting the back taxes, it's sold as is for the highest bid. I know that the property is located in Deputy and no one has had interest in it in a long time, but there is someone that does have interest in it now. And this person is trying to contact the owner, and I believe the owner is deceased, is what they have found in the search. So that's why taxes have not been paid and
no family relatives.
no one is really interested in the property. I believe it was only used for storage anyways. It is not a home.
So will they eventually contact us about?
I believe at this point, I told her that she would have to wait until the next tax
Tax sale.
sale, and she was planning on having her dad come to the next tax sale.
All right. We
She
can
does
move
not
that.
live local.
That property might move next time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first off, we need to approve the minutes from last year, right?
I move that we approve the minutes from 2021, or 2022.
What year are we in?
Wait, well, I know that, but I mean, so the minute, so the finance meeting, is it going forward or is it going backwards?
It'd be 22, wouldn't
2022, so
Right.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the 2022 Jefferson County Board of Finance meeting.
it? Have a motion and a second.
I second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we need to have a president of the Jefferson County Finance Committee.
I move that Robert Little becomes the president of the Jefferson County Board of Finance.
I
Board of
second.
Finance, okay. Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
I abstain. I would nominate Megan as the treasurer for the Jefferson County Board of Finance.
I second it.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you again.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Heather, you have the floor now.
Yes, so I believe Heather White forwarded the information to you. This is a letter of engagement to Reedy Financial. It is for a tax calculation that is required for us having the jail bonds, and we have to do it the first year of our bonds and then every 5 years after. The rates and everything is included in this. Pat looked it over. He said everything looks good. It's something that's required of us, and the jail bond money actually covers the cost of this. So,
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Andrew.
yes, he gave me a list of people to contact, and Gary had time for us to do this, and he was quick to respond, so he's been very helpful through this, so.
Move we accept the letter of engagement with Reedy Financial Group for the tax revenue calculations on the bonds for the new jail facility.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay. Next thing is a memorandum of understanding for Bill Pettit. And we've done this the past several years. It is for the placement of the section corner locations. And has to be a licensed surveyor to do it, I'm sure. Some of them did it from Jefferson County Surveyor, Mike Pittman, and Jefferson County Board of Commissioners, and William E. Pettit, Land Surveyor of Jefferson County. And he is to be paid $140 for our field work and $80 for office work. It's been that way for several years.
Make a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding with Bill Pettit.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay. Sheriff Flint, you have anything, sir?
I do not actually have anything other than I am glad to show up here for you guys for the first time and answer any questions that you may have. I have had some of the jail staff going around and doing some cost analysis, if you will, on repairing some of the doors in the facility that may need some hinge work and some stuff like that. So we have a better understanding going forward and decisions on what to do with that facility once we transition. And other than that, I don't have anything unless you guys have something for me.
Something I'd like for all of us to get together and talk about is what we're gonna do
Absolutely.
up there for your transport,
Mhm.
because we'll probably have to use part of that facility for some way, shape, or form, so.
Yeah,
Because this is January and, you know, be nice to have a plan in place before we roll.
they're looking at still potentially turning it
There's
over into
April, I'm thinking probably May is more realistic, wouldn't you?
Well, enough time, no.
yeah, that would be fine with me. Absolutely. We'd love to do that whenever you guys have the time available.
Okay.
Always ask Dave, what's the census down there? How many you got?
We were up to 160 after the long weekend, but we've had some gone out, so
The long weekend.
we're going back down in the right direction. So
Good. All right, welcome aboard.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Okay, is Troy out there?
No, he won't be
No,
here.
he's not here.
Okay,
And Bobby Phillips either.
okay. Well. You gentlemen have anything?
Jason Craney stopped by here just a little bit ago. Apologize for missing the last two meetings. He will be on our agenda for the next meeting, which is good. They had a meeting yesterday. So kind of got some things finalized anyway, so we'll see Jason at the next one with the treatment train and the process going forward with UC and the assessment study.
Okay. Now, we had our every other Thursday jail meeting this morning and went over the fence and stuff. I'll talk to you guys about it, but things are moving along very well. John and I have ordered quite a bit of stuff. He just got a shipment in again yesterday, which we're storing out at the EMA warehouse, which is a blessing for that. So we're about to wrap the personal equipment, furniture, and that kind of stuff up. It's coming together very well. I think so.
Pouring concrete and some blacktop. out
Yeah,
there
they're doing
today.
curbs and they'll do some of the landscaping and water's on. The gas was supposed to be put in today, over the meter set, and so they can fire up heat for the drywall, spackling and all of that, which will be a boom. So
Mhm.
just when we start 17, wasn't it? When we got the letter,
Mm.
was it 17 or 18?
It was a long time.
That's the
ago.
night you got thrown under the bus. I think you'd remember.
I'm trying to
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was the August of 17.
I think it was
The letter.
from the state,
Mhm.
but we're in a lot better shape. Some of the other counties that didn't
Yeah.
react and go positive. So. Okay. Mr. Carter, I'm sure you want to talk to us.
Yes.
You have the floor, sir.
You know,
Left his sidekick at home.
Number one, you know, I'm back. I finally got a copy of the letter your lawyer sent you about my ordinance I wanted. I'm glad to go over it with you. That's my opinion. My request had nothing to do with zoning. His letter gets the zoning. I don't care about zoning.
the ordinance that was presented,
The ordinance
said-
that was presented had nothing to do with zoning.
it said it would override any other ordinance in the county. So it
No,
did.
it did not and could not. Not an ordinance on zoning. You need a new lawyer, hopefully you got one. Now, the other problem is, he brought up about the public buildings. Firearms banned in public buildings. That's a broad statement. Why didn't he say in government buildings? He didn't. He said buildings. That's wrong. There's a lot of buildings I can go in downtown, including this one. So that was wrong. And that brought up the thought, though. I am disarmed when I goes down to the sheriff's building downtown, the courthouse. Which means I have been banned my right to self-defense under the Supreme Court law on the Second Amendment and so forth. Does that make the Jefferson County totally responsible for anything that happens to me if I get attacked and so forth? Good thing to think about, because I do take my firearm and I can understand why. And so his letter, and then he brought up the Chapel case. I don't care about the Chapel case. Now, but in his letter intended, he's afraid that, gee whiz, if you did this, that would affect the Chapel case. That tells me you got something wrong with the Chapel case, and your new lawyer better take a look at that, see what he was talking about. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just going by what this letter says. And also, on that part of it. Now, on the rest of it, the paragraph one of his letter says y'all took an oath of office. That's true. Y'all did, and so did he, by the way. I understand probably if he was for the county, I don't know. But enforcement of constitutional law in the general application of public safety, security, and organization. That's true. You should enforce constitutional laws and ordinance. The general application for public safety, security, and an organization is not one reason to have a Second Amendment preservation. In fact, I would think that that would be the reason you would need it. The Supreme Court has said, and I've repeated it here many times, you and you are alone responsible for your own protection and your loved one's protection, not law enforcement. Law enforcement is there for the community, not you and I. It's for the community. It's a fine line, but it's already been ruled in cases in Florida with the shootings and so forth. So anyway, your public safety, security, and organization cannot override the Constitution of the United States, nor the Constitution of Indiana. And so that's what I have on that subject. Now, I gave you another copy of a Second Amendment preservation, but just for me, County, Illinois. They just passed a good one, but they involved the mayors, which I think might be a good idea. You think that, you've got a copy of it. And what they did, because Illinois is passing a law, they're having a big thing this week, I think, everybody driving to the Capitol from Chicago and so forth, demanding all kinds of new laws, enforcement and so forth. And so Vermilion County came up with their own Second Amendment Preservation Act. And it was pretty good. And on that, the difference on that is that if the feds have to enforce their own laws under it, but under the supervision of the county sheriff, who, by the way, as I said before, is the top law enforcement officer in the county, regardless of the feds are here or not. So that pretty much takes that. Then we'll jump down to the next system. Mr. Young wants the county and local law enforcement to pay for running down false negatives on Form 4473. 99% of those false reports on Form 4473 are false and overridden and so forth. They have a 99.9% error rate. And that takes up a lot of time. The one thing your illustrious Republican, Mr. Todd Young, my favorite Republican. But anyway, the omnibus bill, he stuck in there a couple things about that. Is it wants law enforcement to do the federal laws, counties, and so forth, and that's still a no-no. But for the females in this room, he also said that females shouldn't have the right to protect themselves in that omnibus bill. There's a lot of goodies in there. So I don't know how I came up with that, but he got it through with 14 other Republicans. And the next system is totally broke. And I gave you a report on next, just how bad it is. And the recent study by the office of the ITO or something like that. It's a total mess and a total ridiculous. That system is totally useless and not up to date and so forth. I gave you a copy of the Vermilion County Illinois Preservation Act. And North Carolina is getting ready to pass one on the state level. And as far as the next check goes, I gave you a copy of it. Department of Homeland Security is also a total failure. They failed to process 6.4 million NICS background checks, his criminal dispositions. Waste of taxpayer money to have that out there. And I gave you a copy of that report there. It's totally ridiculous. Now, I'm skipping over a lot of this because tomorrow's going to be a great day for this country or a very sad day. And you've got a copy in your file. Brunson versus Adams. That is a lawsuit that will be heard tomorrow by the Supreme Court
on people that violate their oath of office. That means tomorrow, whichever way they read, they'll either lose all credibility as a Supreme Court, or we will have a new president, vice president, and about 134 congressmen and a few odd senators. They're going to crack down on people who have been violating their oath of office. That case is to be heard tomorrow, and that's Brunson versus Adams. And failure of Congress to investigate disputed electoral college votes, the 2020 election. There was 100 some odd people in Congress that wanted an investigation of a couple of counties. And they didn't get it due to speakership, leadership and so forth, and Senate leadership, basically. But now it's in the court cases because they didn't do their job, because when Congress has that many people voting against what happened about certifying the election, and there is no investigation once it is requested, by law, they are required to investigate it, and they did not do it. And that's what the Brunson Adams case is about. It's going to be a big case, and hopefully they do it right, which means we'll have new vice president and a lot of new people in Congress in a couple of weeks. Probably those reinstated that lost their election. I don't know, but they only gave you all the paperwork on that. And any questions? Except I want my ordinance. I want a Second Amendment preservation ordinance. There is absolutely no reason. The lawyers literally with it. Totally out of bounds. Maybe you want to check with your new lawyer. I assume you've got one now. But there are a lot of counties in this state that have it, and their lawyers approved it, and they've got the ordinances on it. And I don't see any reason why you, under oath, are here to protect the oath of office, the Constitution, which includes the Second Amendment. Therefore, I'd like to see a law that says you uphold that. And that's the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Okay. I'll be back.
Did Ben get a copy of that?
Wait,
Did Ben get a copy of that?
wait,
Sheriff Flint?
you want one? I give you
Here,
one.
you can have mine.
Oh, I got it.
I think you'll find it interesting.
Oh, that's for me.
Is that one?
Yeah,
Is that
that's the
Vermillion?
one where they stuck the sheriff. Good job.
Okay.
Oh, one of the other things I didn't mention. The other thing that Mr. Young did, he got big increases for spouses of ATF who are killed trying to enforce federal laws for their spouses. Maybe we should have that for our own law enforcement. We're enforcing our laws. Oh, and one other thing, I looked up broadband because my state reps called me about what I thought about it, and I haven't paid any attention to it, and I know it's come up in here several times. That's a grant program. And for you to get that grant, there's a heck of a lot of studies that goes into that, which would take a lot of time. And the average income has to be below, for that area to get it, below $7,200 per year. I did that research. So I think that, I don't think that's going anywhere. Because the paperwork you have to go through, and I don't know if anybody, there may be some out there that's below that, but I think they'd be much better off giving them a half decent smartphone. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public? Mr. King? Yes, sir.
How you doing, mate?
Okay.
Question. The animal shelter sign that's been knocked down, it's been sitting there for a while. Has anybody picked that up and stuck it back in the ground yet?
Not to my knowledge.
I think we got ran over by snowstorm. I was a little disappointed Dr. Barron wasn't here for an update for the animal shelter. I always like to hear the animal shelter. Is there any updates going on up there? Normally the first of the month, you normally hear from shelter on how it's going.
Trish texted me, she was going to go get checked for the flu or whatever today, so she didn't think she needed to be in here. Which I agree. I don't.
Any word on the covers? I know we could have really used those covers when we got hit with the snow.
No to that.
All right. And the
I'll
oversight,
check on the sign tomorrow morning.
and then the oversight board was supposed to be started by Dr. Barron. It was supposed to be made public, but hasn't started yet. That was one of the deals, right? I mean, I love that the advisory board is gone, but this board was supposed to take its place.
Mhm.
That was one of the deals. You guys were all there.
I think it's kind of still on its death throw, so to speak. So. But it will happen.
Here's one of them. Different topic. Is the fairgrounds, is that middle district, lower district, upper district? Is that middle district?
It's Madison Township, isn't it? I don't think it's getting over.
It's right there on the line.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
close.
either one of us.
well,
Well, you can, we really, I
was
mean,
just hoping it
wow,
would get- Is there any plans on getting it updated? You
Getting
know, I
it
mean, it's great.
updated.
It would be a great place for the fairgrounds to be, expanded bigger. What would really be great there is if you all put in a drive-in theater.
so the
It's got
Jefferson
plenty of
Fair,
room there.
the ground there is not owned by Jefferson
It's
County.
not.
No,
Okay.
It's called the Jefferson County Agricultural Association. They're their
They're
own
their own
entity.
entity and they hold their own monthly
Yeah.
meetings
Oh,
at
you
the
need to go to
extension
that one?
office. I don't know when they are.
I think they have some guidelines. They have to go
I was just
by
thinking that
Purdue,
would
and
be
that's
good.
about
Yeah.
it, isn't it?
Purdue
To
is
receive
involved in
funding
it.
and stuff. But yeah, they're their own bailiwick. But they did get upgraded. They've got fiber out there, so for the rodeo, so they have can do a lot more events, or if somebody wants to stream or whatever on it now.
I was thinking driving would be nice out there. There's lots of room for it out there.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Oh, you're in trouble.
I think that's it for me.
Okay, I'll check on the sign tomorrow.
Okay.
My bad on that. Anybody else have anything? Coltrane,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that.
all in favor, signify by aye.
Uh,
Thanks, everybody.
have a safe trip home.